So I've had the same song stuck in my head for 3 or 4 days. And that song is Tesla Girl by OMD.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was 8 Mile High.
No, but it's been pushed out by 8 Miles High, which, by the way, I was amazed to learn came on the radio. She'd never heard it before. She had no idea. She was like, what is this hippie crap?
Well, I mean, I have a soft spot for some hippie music, but that was really...
It's like the guitarist was really getting into it. It's like, and it just starts like, and I was listening to it, I haven't heard it for years and listening carefully, and I'm like, these guys are like really pushing the envelope. Mm-hmm. But Sabrina, you had a great idea, or great thought actually, is that it does sort of seem like proto-prog rock.
Well, yeah, because everybody's kind of doing their own thing.
Yeah, my brain was trying to come out of my ears listening to that thing, you know, everything else aside. Well, it's Friday. I don't know, it started being nice. Heck, it felt like a summer night here last night. Like, we had like the doors open and all the kids were out playing and people were riding their motorcycles up and down the street and all kinds of stuff. Speaking...
It's not like that now.
No, it's not. Actually woke up to rain on the windows. Super, super cool. Speaking of that, speaking of the street, I have a small street segment to throw in. Ooh. It's a very nice evening. Sabrina came back from a walk and said, there's some car down that street. You should go look. It's rustier than your car ever was. But I don't know what it is. Looks like somebody pulled a car right out of the field. Isn't that cool? That's been sitting in someone's field for God knows how long. Look at the cracked old tires. It's intact. It's worn, but it's intact. That is a cool car. I haven't taken the time to actually figure out what that car is. I actually don't know. So anybody watching that video says, you know, that's a 37 Parkatron, then, you know, let me know, because I don't know. Simply because I walked up and I did the loop around the car absolutely as quickly as I could, because I didn't want to, if I took any more time, I would have felt compelled to go up to the house and knock on the door and ask the person, hey, are you cool with me doing this? I didn't want to interrupt him because it was dinner time. So I just took one quick orbit of the thing and I blew.
Well, my guess before you said it to me was a Plymouth, and you guessed a Plymouth.
Well, I could be right, could be wrong, and simply because I don't remember. Also, I made that video a few days ago, so I don't really remember any of the markings on the car. But the patina on it...
It said Grand Prix on the back.
It's Pontiac then. I was right. No, the first thing I said was Pontiac.
You said Pontiac? I thought you said Plymouth.
I said Pontiac. Oh. It's Grand Prix, so now it's, what year is it? It has really... You haven't actually seen the video.
No.
But you saw the car, but the patina on the car is really nice.
Oh, I thought it was super rusty. I just drove by it. I didn't look at it.
Speaking of patina, do you want to do wrist check?
Yes.
Let's do wrist check. Okay, so this watch, when I'm making this segment at the end of the video when I actually...
You're going to hear all about this watch as soon as this is done. So there's a close-up shot of it. And if you want to know more, keep watching.
Yeah, just there's the dial. And you see sort of the brown patina on it and the way the hands are blue and the relume and everything else like that. And then here is mine. Woo, thank you. Mm-hmm. I didn't used to wear this. Turns out I don't really like it on leather, but that's what it came on. But I was looking at this watch because a new one surfaced. I was looking at this watch this week and really, really looking at it, I'm realizing this is an incredibly rare watch. There were only 9 known of these. I mean, I'm sure they made more. I mean, it looks like from the numbers, they probably made 250, possibly 500. It's just a guess, I don't know. But how many survived? I mean, having only 9 surface so far, who's going to find number 10? It's just crazy. So I've really actually been enjoying wearing it. It's also been keeping great time. It's only a few seconds off. Oh, I forgot to mention, this is a Seiko 6117-6420 Osaka Navigator. Is what I call it.
We haven't done it yet, and he actually, in theory, doesn't know what I'm wearing.
I don't know what she's wearing. I can do a blind test. I don't know what she's wearing. Here, let me feel it. You are wearing the Omega 321. Yes, you are. That's exactly what you're wearing. You're wearing my great uncle's 1964 Omega Seamaster 321 chronograph.
And I bet you people already know that because he would have put wrist check in already.
You know, I was, at first when I did the blue on the hands, I just felt aggressively disliked it. It bothered me so much that it was paint imitating bluing instead of bluing. It made it feel cheap to me. But looking at it now, it looks nice. It's a nice looking watch. Whew. Patina on the dial. You want to talk about patina?
That's where actually it came from, is because we were watching, Sadie and I were watching Sherlock, and they were talking about the patina. The patina on teapots. Sadie was like, what's patina? And I was like, it's patina. And she's like, okay, what's patina? And I was like, I have a watch with it.
Indeed you do. What a job it was to get that dial surface to sit back down and adhere with the brown areas where it was more deeply brown. That's the top cover. It was coming up and off like this, and it was like the top layer, those little edges, they were like leaves on a sidewalk in autumn. Like I had to basically, I had to do some crazy stuff. I hand masked all the markers and the applied logo, and then I used a very, very light sealing spray, matte spray used for decals on models. And it didn't overpower and it sucked it down. That was fun. Anyway. You want to do it?
Yes. Mail Call 245 Keyboard Warrior Edition. Dennis ALG 1171. I wouldn't dare to suggest you waste a genuine 6105 dial or any iconic Seiko dial for that matter.
I didn't think that you had suggested that. I address all questions seriously, piece by piece, so I'm very literal in my answers.
I was thinking some genuine date-only dial and install new feet on it to suit the NH35 movement and Rdunae case if necessary. From what I understand, most 6105 homages,
Evening, making things even.
What?
Sorry, I just quoted American Dad.
On AliExpress, don't have the dial feet in the usual position. When I say the Rdunae dial is atrocious, I mean the overall look with the logo and text. I couldn't comment on build quality.
The Rdunae dial, the logo, it doesn't really work for me. I think it's kind of messy and weird looking. Plus, also, it's got that blobby chrome top thing. It looks like someone used like it looks like semi-liquid. And it looks imprecise to me. And I don't dig it for that reason. If I would be a lot more forgiving if the markers were right, and they're aggressively not right. So I'm with you. I can't. The build quality, the casework is great. I just don't wear the watch primarily. Like 99% of the reason I don't ever wear the watch is because I can't stand the dial because it's so wrong to me. I just can't enjoy it. I've been playing around with trying to put a different dial in that watch, actually, because it occurred to me that a 7002 diver dial with those feet will drop right onto an NH movement and will go right into that case with a crown at 4. But so far, no good experiments.
Gene Hackman Seiko, what was he wearing? And
oh, I'm sorry, can I say something first?
I don't care.
Okay, so the Gene Hackman thing, a couple people expressed disappointment or displeasure, or they weren't cool with me making my video about Gene Hackman so close to his death. I don't know. I mean,
if somebody's making a video like being a dick about somebody who just died, then yeah, but it was not, it was, you were just, you know, the information came up. I hate when people are stupid.
yeah, one, it was just happenstance that information came up right when he happened to die. But also...
Well, and also you have to, because he died, the information came up. It wouldn't have come up otherwise.
That's true. That's true. It's a chicken and an egg situation.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I mean, respectfully, I think Gene Hackman would have been pretty jazzed to have people say, hey man, he's got some cool watches. That dude's got some cool watches, rather than talk about the unfortunate circumstances of his passing. So I'm not profiting from it. I'm not trying to make any money about it.
We don't really make any money from these.
We don't make any money from videos. It's just, I want the world to know that Gene Hackman was not only a watch guy, he was a Seiko guy. He was a Seiko guy. He bought Seikos from the shop in San Francisco for his friends and other people and family members.
San Francisco.
Did I say San Francisco? I've said San Francisco too many times today. It's stuck in my head. Santa Fe.
Yes.
So, but it's, you know, I'm just heartbroken for a couple of reasons. One of them, which may sound silly, he was by all accounts a super nice guy. I wish to God I would have known. I would have written him a letter just to talk to him. I mean, I don't bother famous people. I don't feel comfortable doing that. But if I had a legitimate reason to speak with him, I could have sent him a letter. And it just, all the information, you know, I'm disappointed in myself because, you know, maybe he would have liked to have, you know, been part of the larger watch community and talk to people about what he did and, you know, have a whole new fan base based on his Seiko fandom alone. So that's what I was thinking. That's how I approached it. So if it came off as disrespectful in any way, that was not my
Disrespectful is making fun of somebody and like how they died or something stupid. Making, I don't know. Yeah. We don't make a profit off of.
We don't make any money from the videos. I mean, I have probably from a labor perspective, I think the last monthly payout was, I think, $134.
Woo!
So, I mean, it's not nothing.
No, I know.
But I mean, but by you know, counting by my labor, how much money we put into making these videos, we're underwater on them, if you want to be like that. But we make the videos. You know what actually making the videos is? It's an investment in the business. It's also a loss leader. It's like those pre-made rotisserie chickens. Yes, they lose money on it, but they get people in the door. That's what it's all about.
So these are our rotisserie chickens.
Yep, this is Friday rotisserie chicken.
Anyway, MVJ Miranda. I may be wrong, but I believe the one with SQ on the dial has a 5H movement, and with the 7N, it's missing.
You are absolutely 100% correct. Absolutely. I didn't check any of the pictures when I was making all this post. You think I would have bothered to look up the 7N version of it? Didn't even occur to me. I just assumed that they were the same. They are not. I have a small segment I made for this. So there it is. We've got the answer and the key piece of intelligence thanks to this question. Here again is Gene's watch, and we can see the blurred light points that show us it's got the triangular marker at the top with round markers here, so forth and so on. It has yellow, orange resist dial text down here, and it has this silver dot right there, which is the SQ. That plus the case tells me that we're looking at this watch. But the key point is that SQ. And I had forgotten this, and this person had the great thing. With the SQ, it has to be a 5H. There's the 5H with its SQ dial. And here is the 7N36 model that came later. This was the second version of it. Go right down here to photos. And you can see what I'm talking about. It's right there. You can see there's that silver dot of the SQ, and there's not one here. The hands look the same. is the same. I mean, the rest of the watch looks the same, but that SQ is gone. So there is our answer. That is the answer. He had the 5H26 7A19. Super cool. I hope that was fun.
Cycle Troll, very cool. Gene Hackman was a great actor and a class act. Saw him out and about in Santa Fe area many times.
Yeah, I know. I actually repeated this comment deliberately because I wanted to again drive home the idea that Gene Hackman was just a dude. He was just a guy. And I'm sure he would be tickled to know that we are talking about our love for his work and admiration for his talents and also, you know, being in wonderment at his watch collection. You know, talk about the things that matter.
Mm-hmm. Pat's Guitars, I'm a Gene Hackman fan and a Seiko Pepsi fan. I've currently got a 1979 7548 SRP 779 and the new SNE 595. My brother, who was in the Marine Corps in the 80s, gave me a Pepsi quartz Pulsar that he got at the PX that started my Pepsi obsession.
Do you still have that quartz Pulsar? I'd be curious to see a picture of it. And you want to put it down in the comments. I'd love to see it.
User LX7FJ7RL3F. I like those kind of usernames. Shouldn't be surprising. He was a very accomplished diver.
I didn't know that. Diver. At first I thought this was possibly a typo because he was a driver. He liked doing race car stuff. I did not know that he was a diver as well. That's super interesting. You know, he was just a great guy. I mean, he's an actor I've always liked. And the fact that he was a Seiko guy is tremendously validating. Yet someone I like and admire, who is a down-to-earth dude, somebody I would have been willing to and able to say nice things to. Hello, sir. You know, and he's a Seiko guy. Was a Seiko guy.
Bruce Barlow said 7N36 7A08.
That is the 7N version of this watch, which does not have the SQ on the dial. Everything else is identical. But you can see in the picture that his watch has the SQ on the dial. So that's what it is. That's what he's got.
Koosby8162, I have one of this model I bought in London in 1993. The bezel insert is pretty worn now, but the rest of the watch looks great. Sapphire crystal too, so the vendor informed me. Seiko hard rubber straps keep breaking after a few years of wear, and internals had to be replaced after a diving water ingress accident over 20 years ago. My own fault. Got a battery replaced without seals and pressure test, but case and bezel and crystal are all original.
I did some poking this morning before getting ready for the video. There is an NOS, there's an NOS rotating ring for one of these for sale. I found it online. If you just Google that and look at images, I think it comes right up. But so it's $95 or euros, one of the two. Euro. So check that out. So if you want to put a new rotating ring on yours, $95. It's yours.
Speedy Paul 2314. Crimson Tide with Gene is excellent. Also, his performances were truly flawless.
I've never seen Crimson Tide.
I think not.
Yeah, it's one of those 80s Tom Clancy movies, like Hunt for Red October and stuff.
Which I did not see. For LS, Seiko 6139 6005 Restoration. Matt Menino, 3674. I recently got this watch as a gift and it's in bad shape. The start, stop, reset, and crown are all very sticky and hard to use. I don't have a lot of money to get it fully repaired. Could I put a drop of gun oil where the buttons and crown are to loosen it up?
Well, the big thing...
Well, no, I'm just like... You've talked about oils many times and the different viscosity and differentness and stuff, and I just imagined that, like, gun oil, you shouldn't use that on a watch.
Well, gun oil is a very light machine oil. It's not chemically reactive. It protects it's made to preserve metal objects, working objects. It's a perfectly, gun oil is not you use it in the right way and it'd be fine. Don't put gun oil on it because you can't actually get really to where you'd have to pull the buttons and pull the movements to try to get just a tiny amount of oil on the hardened rubber gaskets, but it still wouldn't work. The reason being, what happened is that those gaskets that are in there, they're a D profile, so they're like flat with an O-ring with the flat on the inside, so that the stem goes through and it has a large contact patch of the inside of the gasket all around it, but then it has a rounded profile on the outside to facilitate the smoothness of being pushed in and out. But it's compressed pretty good by that tube. So it's compressed into a flat shape. That rubber loses its elasticity, and given enough time, it turns as hard as plastic, and it's forced against those walls. It can't flex. So the only way to make that better, the cheap, fast way that people used to deal with it, is they would go and they'd get the buttons and the crown out and they would shave off the rock hard old gasket, and then yeah, the buttons will come in and out like nothing, but you have no seal anymore. The only cure is a full case rebuild, clean everything, all new gaskets, get that done. And I know you don't have, money is always a concern and a consideration. It's a matter of how often you wear the watch. But having good seals, fresh seals on a watch is, that's a solid investment on the future of the watch. Because man, if water gets in.
So that's why my Rdunae R2X 6105-8110 doesn't work. SGTLMJ. Any indication that this could be a counterfeit movement? I've heard rumors that they have gotten really good at copying the movement since they copy everything else.
I didn't see anything in the movement that looked wrong. It looked entirely correct and original to me. I do understand that the fakers, the counterfeits, they're getting really cheap, but I can get a replacement, one of these movements, seriously for like 30 or 40 bucks. The economies of scale, I don't think at a certain point catch up. It doesn't look like a fake movement. It looks like exactly like it should look. But I can say that I have observed many QC errors from Seiko with their automatic assembly and automatic lubrication stuff. It's not out of the realm of possibility that it's just, one that didn't get properly assembled made it through the whole thing. The whole line is automated, right? So if it missed an inspection or something happened, made it through, here we are. So that's what I think happened. It just slid through QC.
4HB Seiko 5246-6000 chronometer restoration. Mr. Mad Villain. I find the tough wind is often the reversing wheel. I've replaced a few and it always helps. Different than the 56, clean, lube, and put back.
Yeah, what I do with those reverser wheels, what they are is they're in order to make it so that the weight will wind the mainspring when it's turning in both directions, you have this wheel that will always, no matter what, it's like a differential almost on a car. You put power into it, it's going to spin the thing the other way. And so you have all these tight tolerances with all these spinny things together, and any kind of grease or oil with increased viscosity is going to really grab because there's so much conjoined surface area. The way I deal with those, I get a little bit of the lightest of 90-10 oil, like a dab of it in an oil cup, and then I thin it out with naphtha so that the oil is really diffuse. Then I soak that reverser wheel in that solution, and I allow it to, I get the extra off, I dab it to get the extra off, and then I let it air dry. And it leaves just a haze of lubrication. I do clean off the outside and everything else like that. It's an old school trick. Old timers used to do it. And that's what I do, and it's definitely worked. It absolutely is necessary, when you're servicing like a ETA 28, one of those. That's how you have to do the reverser wheels. If you use oil, it just locks them up and you can't hand wind at all.
That's it.
Oh, that was all? Mm-hmm. Heavens to mercy. Heavens to Murgatroyd. Anyway, that's it.
Mm-hmm. I'm playing a game.
You are?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think we are going to go, and I think that's the end of the weekend, or the start of the weekend, and I don't know. That's it.
Start of spring break.
It is the start of spring break. So, hey, thank you so much for watching. I sincerely appreciate it. We appreciate it. It means everything to us and our family for you guys to support us by watching all the way to the end like this. It means a lot. So thank you much, and we'll keep it going. Mm-hmm. All right, bye.
Bye.